Good morning, my family and friends, and how are you today? I hope you're well. Welcome to this wonderful Tuesday's Vectors and Pixels. I always look. We have changed our format a little bit so that I'm going to be streaming twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And right now the theme for each day is Tuesdays, I just do whatever the heck I want. Piddle with this, piddle with that. Talk about NPC rights. NPCs are people too. And just general whatever comes across my plate and mind. Thursdays, however, are going to be a little more structured in that whatever project that I'm currently involved in, I'm going to be working on. In this case, we're working on the book, The ABCs of Adventure. And I will show some of that probably today, but just going to mess around a little bit. So I am not going to bother with a long intro. Those of you who come to my stream often know the drill. If you want to support me directly and the art and everything that I do, you can go to the link which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen here, somewhere in there, buymeacoffee.com/chainreaction. You can definitely catch me there, and you can support me directly by buying me a cup of coffee. I see we have viewers coming in on Twitch. Good morning. I'm going to have to remove Trovo from there. Trovo has been very problematic. Not just for me, but for Pantsless Pirate Gaming as well. I'm trying to decide if there is something going on between the platforms. We shall see. But today, let's just get into it. Last week, let me flip over here. This is an idea that I'm kind of working with right now. We'll get to this in a little bit. Last Thursday, we were working on the ABCs here. And this is where I ended up. I'm a long ways from any kind of finish with this. The yellow lines in the background are going to be the cave, which we won't see a whole lot of, but I want to make sure it's there. That way when I move things around and adjust things, there's background to support what's going on in the screen. The bodies of the goblins need to be, figured out, and of course there's very little shadowing. I did a little bit on his face and hair here. You can see he shadows into the dark. This ear is darker than this ear. Got a little bit of shadowing here, a little shadow from the nose, a little highlight right here. Not a whole lot, just kind of roughing out what's going on here. And then, of course, his armor and everything has been touched. The sword's got very vague lighting on it. The hand's got some lighting on it. The goblins are just, they've got a gradient, but they're not shaded in any stretch of the imagination, and they have a long ways to go. And this is what we'll be working on Thursday. Today, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I think we're going to work on a 3-panel set. And last Tuesday, we were working on converting Buggy into a coloring book page, and this is how that ended up. And for those of you who are interested, yes, I will post this on the Chain Reaction site, so you can download it for free, print it up, and color away. And when you do that, do me a favor and post me your work. I have some others on the Chain Reaction page, kind of dribbled and drabbed in there. If you want to print those up and color them, feel perfectly free to do so. But the price is I would like to see your work and post it in the thread. So other than that, have at it, guys. So I'm working on something that's been bouncing around in my head. Something new and not new. I love my 3-panel spreads, and I've been working with a concept of doing a kind of a morning piece. I have a night piece called Night Wall, which people really seem to like, and a lot of people like the monochromatic pieces that I do. For example, let's bring up Night Wall. Let's see, it's open. Do I have Night Wall? I have Night Flight, Night Tree. Here's a small Night Wall print. Do do I have the whole night wall scene? I think this is, well, let's find out. Which one is this one? This one's blue, apparently. Oh, there we go. It's just big. Let's fit the window here. There we go. And so here's that scene. Looks like it's moved just a little bit because we were, where's the box? Anyway, this is Nightwall. This is a chunk of it. This is not the whole thing. The moon is over here. I think the whole thing's been moved for purposes of fitting things. Why in the world? Show frame. Nope. All right, well, let's zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. There we go. I don't know why it's so weird. Anyway, this is Nightwall. It's a 3-piece spread. People really like it and enjoy it. Another piece that I do is Into the Unknown. Let's open this, and that's the cover of the Dungeon Notes comics. Let's see. Don't know if I did it as Unknown or Into. Have so many things. Here's the eyes. I don't think I saved it in here. I think I saved it over here in my Dungeon Note folder. Do we have prints? Dungeon Note scans, publish, publish, published. Coloring book. Well, here's some of the other coloring book pieces here. We'll look at those later. Concepts. Well, I have Unknown down here, I believe. No, of course not. That would have been useful to know where everything was at the time. The joys of having so many files. Book pages, comic book exports, comic templates, scenes. Is it in here? No, of course not. That would be useful, huh? Not gonna worry about it. But it's the cover of a comic book. Let's see if we do these comic book covers. And it's one of the unknowns. Inner, outer, unknown. There we go. This is the comic book version of it. I had to add this back piece here. So let's see if we can hide cover stuff and text. And then I think this is that box. So here's Into the Unknown with this additional piece. And it's another monochromatic piece. People seem to really enjoy these. Another one that I do real quick. Let's get out of here, go back into here, go find prints, or posters actually in this case. And then there is, looking for it. Really? Wow, I know it was in here. Oh, there it is. And then there's this piece, which is called Black Sun. Again, another monochromatic piece. So when I'm talking monochromatic, I'm saying, for the most part, pick a color and echo that color throughout the whole piece. We all know what monochromatic is. And this is 3 examples of a monochromatic palette. And so I have another idea for another piece. Let's just unhide all. There we go. And go back out to the scene. And let's hide the layout. And it's bright and it's vibrant and it's definitely more orange, but it's not monochromatic. I am hearing all kinds of noises. Is this coming from my computer? I don't know if I'm hearing things on my headsets or not. And it might be me dropping frames. And if I am, I'm sorry. Who knew? Well, I have several people in here today, this morning. For me, it's tonight. I work nights. So mornings are nights and nights are mornings. It's not confusing at all. So I thought I'd play around with this concept, but it's not monochromatic. And I think that's what's bothering me about this piece. So I'm hearing like my computer go up and down, but I can't tell what's going on. I'm going to leave these on for a second, see if it does it, or if it's just something going on in the background. It has nothing to do with nothing. Because I am getting all kinds of drop frame alerts here, and I'm not sure how to solve that. So if you're seeing, yeah, it is. Something's going on here. And I don't know what's going on here. Been having problems the past few streams with technology not behaving and doing what it's supposed to do, and I'm not sure what's connecting and disconnecting here, but if you're having problems in the stream, let me know, please. Am I not loud enough? If the frame rate's just horrible, if you're actually not seeing anything. Dropped frames detected 34% over the last 2 minutes a few seconds ago, and I'm wondering if that's what I'm hearing on the headphones sitting over there or not. But anyway, let me continue with this here. I think I want to rethink this. I would like to do a 3-piece spread, but I don't want to do this 20 by 30. That's huge. And when you do it 20 by 30, you end up with a 20 by 60. Actually, I'm sorry, it's 60 by 30. Yeah, 60 by 30. Had to think about that. And not everybody has that kind of wall space. And I'm not sure if this is going to be something to be done for wall space or not, but I saw a piece that inspired me. And I'm wondering if something like that would be more in line. So if you will stick with me, I'm going to rejigger a completely new scene, and you'll see how I set things up. And we will see. I'm going to see if I can find my 11 by 14 canvas. Dead tree. Do I have a template? Template. Yep, here it is. So here is a smaller canvas. This is a template that I downloaded from the person, well, not from the person, from the company that does my printing. The red area is everything that's going to be on the front of the canvas. From the red area to the first blue line, that is where it gets folded onto the edges. So anything in between these two lines right here will actually be on the sides of the canvas. And then from the blue line to the edge, that's an area that can get cut. It's guaranteed, probably not going to see anything on that little sliver. So this size is 2100 wide. So we will go 630 to triple it. And that gives me that. Now, why did I do that? Well, I want to paint this as a spread. And so I'm going to replicate this piece of template in 3 spots. And then we'll just paint underneath those, knowing where focus for each piece is going to be and know how this thing's going to lay out when it's on a wall-ish. These things are always an experiment. So I'm going to take this, we're going to copy it. We hope. Uh-oh, do I not have my snap on? Let's go to my document. Yep, my snaps are not on. So let's, there we go. Snap, oops, not what I had in mind. Snap. Snap. Okay. So that gives me my layouts for a 3-piece spread, which fortunately in this case was easy math. So I'm going to go ahead and say File, Save As, so I have this laying around, 3-piece. All right, so now we have this template. Now what the heck am I going to do? Well, I know that the sky and everything that's going to fill this up is going to be a 63 by 2550. So let's just grab, let's lock this template. I have this called art here. I don't think I need the reference anymore. What is the reference? The reference should be, yeah, that right there. So let's go to the art. And I guess we'll make the art. So I need a mask. What is my mask? My mask should be in the center here. Let's, why do I have a camera? Camera, go away. I said mask. Let's see what the mask is. Okay. Ooh. Is my mask appropriately sized out of nowhere for some reason? It is. I must have grabbed it. Perfect. So let's put the template above this. Put the art here. We don't need the reference anymore. And we're going to call this sky. We're going to work on this in the background. We're going to say File. Let's do a Save As. Canvas template. Let's go Canvas. I still want to do a sunrise. We're going to do sunrise or sun something another. Now the piece that I saw was very blatant in the way it was using color. And I think that's what I liked about it. It was monochromatic without being really monochromatic. Instead of a pretty, let's see, this is night canvas. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. We don't need night wall. Don't need the coloring book anymore. So in this piece, I got a lot of blue going on here. I've got the morning pinks on the clouds. I've got kind of the mid-southwest rock kind of thing going on. All I'm hearing is my computer going do-do, 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 do-do. And it normally never does that. And it's usually like when something gets plugged in or my camera. I don't know what's going on. It's always been something. The last handful of streams, something weird has been going on. For example, if anyone's saying anything in chat, I'm not seeing it. If anyone's watching, I can see viewers, but I don't see anyone interacting. Normally I see people interacting. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if you guys are actually able to interact with me or not. Oh, I'm there. Perfect. Phew, it's just so quiet. I wasn't able to ascertain whether or not there was connectivity. Anyway, going back to my little rant. So I'm doing this kind of 3-piece, and I want to try to experiment with more of a semi-monochromatic. I think I'm going to stick to orange, yellows, and reds, or variations thereof, because it's a red, and see what we get. So I'm going to label this sky. We're going to get rid of the outline. We're going to just grab orange for the moment. This is not the permanent color, but it's going to set the tone for me. And I think we said this was 63 by 2550. That was not 60. Oh, it's locked. That explains that. And then let's center it in the frame. Okay, that is bigger. Whoa, why did it locked again? Why did it do that? this sets our tone. Do you guys hear the dudunk dudunk on your end? I doubt it, but it's enough to drive me crazy. All right, so let's find a sky. This probably won't be a morning sky. This might be a setting sun sky where it's all ablaze. I think let's play with that at first. And I might go a lot more stylized, much bigger sun than I do have in the other ones. So I'm completely playing this by ear. So it was pointed out that I needed to do more original new stuff on Tuesdays, and that's kind of also the focus I'm going to go for here. So we're going to go Radial Gradient. I know that this is going to be my hotspot. I know this is going to be my cool. I'm not sure if I want to jump in with this mid-tone or not, but we're going to see how this works. We're going to put the sun probably right there. No. There. Make that the focus. This is the background sky, so this is not the only thing that's going to be there. But we're going to play around with this. I can make the sun bigger or less. It does need to be more centered though. Go. I'm eyeballing it here. It's what we do with art. We eyeball things. So I'm playing around with the gradient, trying to decide where I want. I think that's pretty good. I have no idea where this piece is going. I literally am just I have kind of a kernel of an idea in the back of my brain, and I'm going to try to see if I can get it across the line. We're going to insert a layer. We're going to call it the sun. Now, do I do just a big sphere, or do I do something stylized? What do I do with this piece? And I'm kind of leaning towards a stylize. So let's let's grab an obnoxious yellow. I don't think this will be the yellow I'll start with. Let's go with a brush, and I'm just gonna do swirls. I'm gonna move some things around so I can get at my pad here. And it's not going to be a perfect circle, I know, but that's not what I want. I want something a little bigger. Why are we doing, no, I don't want that. That's what I want. I want something a little chunkier. Not chunkier than that. Minimum size. Let's get up here a little bit. All right, let's see if this helps. Again, I'm not sure if this is what I want. Just kind of eyeballing it right now, seeing what we can get at this. I know I want it to be a lot more prominent. So let's see what this does. See how this makes me feel. Again, this might be horrible. Who knows? Let's square it up a little bit. This is 1812.5. So let's make this 1815. And see how that works there. And let's make this one 1815 as well. At least it's square at this point. And let's turn it into a brush, just so we can have some control over it. Again, this is probably going to be a little more abstract. I don't do abstract very well. I always have a hard time. Love abstract. I sold lots of abstract in the early 90s when I worked at a gallery. But just cannot wrap my head around it very well. Okay, well this will ensure that bits of the sun are going to get wrapped around the canvas. Now let's try some of my trickery real quick. Don't need to tint anything. Let's do a blur, because it is the sun, and it's going to be a background object. It's interesting. Let's play with this a little bit. Let's do a gradient for this. And it's going to be very similar. It won't go as cool. Probably go to there. Now it needs a little more than that. And I think it needs a very small amount of hot. So let's add this in here. This way I can go as cool as I want, or I can just go bright. But again, I'm not 100% certain where I'm going with this. But that's a very abstract sun. Not my forte, but we're going to give it a whirl here. Alrighty. So that's part of the concept. The rest of it is silhouettes. Such a bright sun, we need silhouettes. We need small clouds, we need some details, and we need some interest in here. I may go back to my sky now that I've got the sun figured out. And I may open this up just a little bit more. I really want that to be a hot spot. And this is the 3,000 foot view here. Alrighty. Now I want some interest in here. I think I'm going to put a black silhouetted terrain. But I can't do just a flat line. That's boring. It's also difficult to know which order some of these need to be hung in if it's all just straight across. So I'm going to lock both the sun and the sky right now. And we're going to insert a foreground in here. And let's get a black, because you know me and my black crayons. And this is just the starting point. I do not know where this is going. I don't know how it's going to come out. I just know that we're going to play around until we get something we like. And so we're going to just kind of something like that, maybe. Making it bigger than I need it. That way I can scooch it around if need be. We're going to fill this in. Hopefully I did my job. Sweet, I did. Let's grab this, smooth it a little bit. And I think the sun needs to be sort of kind of setting. And I also think there needs to be another line. Insert layer. We're going to call this midground just for now. And all of this can change in a heartbeat. It could be like, nope, hate it. Like, I'm not a big fan of this little bump right here. We'll figure it out. But we're like the foreground. We're going to take the midground, and I'm going to take a variation of this color here. We're going to make it a little more orange. Right there. And then let's add that to the midground. Oops, wrong thing. Do that. Oops, let's not do that though. Why do I want to go to the left when I do this? Something about me wants to do that dip when I move, when I'm at that angle. Alrighty, let's put this in here. It's a little more interesting. Let's grab this, let's tweak it. There we go. And we're going to take it. I'm going to turn this into a brush called midground. And I'm going to just do effects. I'm always trying to do depth of field on things. Just trying to see how things feel. That'd be an interesting effect for other things. Put that in this piece, but not for this particular brush. We have darken, we have multiply. I'm just looking at different effects. See, we can see the sun through there, which is not what I really want, but I do like this color because it's echoing this orange to yellow in here. So it's darker here, it's brighter here, but I don't like the fact that we can see the sun through it. Additive, again, another interesting effect, difference, nothing what I want to do. So let's just go ahead and keep it normal, but it tells me that I want a gradient. And I'm wondering if I do, was it the hard light? Kind of like the hard light. I wonder if I try to pick a gradient now, I can pick those colors. So let's get rid of that. Let's pick this color, and then let's pick that color, and then let's take this guy and make him normal, and then let's try that gradient. I didn't get a gradient. Why didn't I keep the gradient? That's a very subtle gradient. All right. And let's push this into the yellow a little bit more. And then let's try that. interesting. And I like how that is going to those reds at the edges, kind of echoing what's going in the sky. And yet it's a little brighter there where the sun is. I'm not sure if I'm keeping that. What do you guys think about this abstract? I kind of like the idea that's kind of, you know, heat waves and stuff like that, but not sure how I feel about it. So I'm going to let that percolate in my brain, and I'm going to take the foreground here. We're just going to, I don't like that. Now I've got something interesting going on in the midground, a little more cartoony for me. Let's take the black and get a brush going on here. Let's just, oops. Let's add a little interest here. A lot more interesting. Might do this a few more times. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's try linear. Nope, definitely not what I'm looking for. So let's leave that alone right there. A little more interesting. Let's take the midground. Let's push it up a little bit. Just a little bit. It's why I overdraw, because I never know where anything's going to end up. I kind of smooch it around. And stare at this for a moment. It's got some color. It's a little more monochromatic. Let's steal the cactus from the previous piece. I think they're on, see, that's, excuse the pun here, but that is night and day. I might finish this one. This one has some bones to it, but night and day. Let's steal this color here for a second. And let's put that on this piece. Just want to see what it looks like. Hey, I said I was stealing this color here. I'm going to put it into this one. There. So we're not completely black, and this gives me a chance to do something like what I've done over here, which is this cactus here is black because it's the closest to the camera. This one's wrong. This one needs to fade into it, a brighter color, but I think it's along the lines I want, so I'm going to borrow or steal. So I drew these already once. Why not borrow them again? And we're going to put them in front of the foreground just like in the previous piece. And we're going to paste it center here. Oh yeah, that's huge. That'll be useful. You might want to keep it that huge. Let's keep it that huge. Let's just see how that feels. It's not bad. I mean, I'm going to have to fix it because it wasn't designed for this. But it's not bad. I might have to draw a new one just to echo this. Happy accident. So, with this in mind, fine. Let's make this a color I can see. Here we go. And I'm going to draw something very similar, but these little spikes here are going to get refined a little bit, if at all. So let's get out my brush. Let's get a blue, just so we can keep the two apart. And let's up the size of this just a little bit. I like how small and weedy it was coming up. And this little self here. I think we're gonna give a little more oomph. Let's take this shape and let's smooth it out a little bit. There we go. And then I like the arm coming off here, so we're just going to redraw that. This one's a little more muscular. And then I do like the little thing coming up here, but I'm going to put that one up here. Shape. Yeah, like, and then we can keep this guy for the background or something, but right now we'll get rid of him. Let's see how I feel about this piece first. Let's make it black. And I'm looking over here because it's much smaller over here on this screen. And I can play around with height before I start adding details and things. Yeah. All right, so let's turn this into a brush. That way I can play around with some things and not mess up this general shape, because I kind of like this general shape. I might smooth this transition here a little bit. Like that. All right, let's call this Cactus 1 because that's such a unique name. All right. Now it's a brush, that means I can do things with it, but one of the things I really want to do is give it a new layer to put those little needles on, just to see if that's something we want or I want. You guys feel free to chime in with ideas, by the way. I am always open to ideas. Ooh, let's not do that. Stop it. Wrong button. I wanted to do this button. I wanted to lock that. All right. So now to do this, and I'm not sure. Let's take this one more time through the smoothing. Just a little bit more. There we go. Let's lock that. Then we're going to go to our brush, and we are going to come down here to a minimum size of 1, maximum size 3. And let's do the very tedious job of adding just a little bit here and there. You don't have to cover the whole thing. Just a hint. Unfortunately, these are unique. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do it like this. So I get in here and play with the few that are going to really stand out or have some good shape. I'm not going to do this to all of it, just a little here. A little there. Just a few thicker ones. But if I zoom out, my lines become even thicker. Just a hint. What's to come here? It's sometimes a tedious slog doing art, and just kind of little lines here and there. We're not going to put too many down here because we don't know if we want them or not, but I think that's enough for now. If we need more, we can add more. And lock everything in. And that's why that foreground is not black, is to give something like this cactus something to work off of. So now let's go steal the big guy over here. And you know what? These guys were done for a different design, and so these spikies are a bit too much. So let's just do another one. Foreground cactus is locked. We have our foreground. Let's put this one behind the midground. Let's insert a layer here. We'll call it midground cactus. All right. Let's pick this color here. Then we're going to make it a little redder. Well, a little more orange maybe. And much lighter. So let's say there. And let's see what kind of cactus we can make just at this range. And if I'm speaking too soft, let me know, guys. I know some of you like watching just to hear me melodically go on about nothing. We are going to bring the brush size up. Just kind of figure where I want this thing. Of course, it's the, don't want that new. The advantage of living in Arizona is I have a lot of reference material. Drive by it every day. this range, we're not going to see the spikies. And that's, but it might have little flowers on it. So let's get in here and put, oops, that's a little weird at this scale. Like little prickly pears. This is called a Sonoran cactus, and I know that they bloom. Sometimes look like I got fingers. That's what I'm kind of emulating, is that finger. So now let's go. Like that. Zip back out here. Definitely need to put some clouds in here that are in this color hue, and I think I'm going to put one more layer lit up really bright back here. And then we'll have to come up with some kind of subject matter. What do you guys think about this? Or what do you guys think about this? We're going to take this mid-ground cactus, play around with the color a little bit. I'm going to take my cues from the cooler spots here. Just playing with it, seeing what I like. I think I want to go a little more, definitely want some more orange in here. I think I want a little, yeah, some more akin to that. Of course, this is going to be a fantasy medieval piece, so we have to figure out how to get our fantasy silhouetted in this. Not just the sun being the centerpiece, but something interesting going on. We'll figure that out. I like to live with the piece for a moment. I think the mid-ground cactus needs to be pushed a little bit out of focus, so we're going to turn it into a brush. Push it out of focus just a little bit by blurring it. And then I also think we're going to echo what's going on with the light just a little. So we're going to make a gradient, linear gradient, I'm sorry, radial gradient. We're going to make the dark this color. We're going to take this light color, push it more into the orange. And then put it, the sun's here. Do that with it. That's starting to look okay. And I'm making this up as I go. I knew vaguely I wanted to do monochromatic sun pieces, cactus, but I don't know what else I want to do with this. I do think that the foreground, which is this piece right here, needs its own gradient, but we're going to keep the color it is right now as its highlight color. So the highlight color is going to be this color. Let's take a copy of that color and darken it. Although there's not a lot in the way of dark we can do, huh? Didn't give myself a whole lot of room. So let's take this color, bring it up a hint, and then the sun is here. Yeah, there's not a lot of colors. Whoops, wrong thing. Let's go B, oops, F. Let's play around with that. Just a little bit there. I'm just roughing out a feel. There's going to be room for lots of details in the rocks and more silhouetted pieces, and I need to get some kind of critter in here, something interesting, or something in the sky. We'll see. Maybe I'll do the clouds swirling, that big circle. I think this needs more detail, just a little more oomph to it. So we'll play around with that a little bit. So we're going to go back to the foreground, and we're going to turn, well, right now I'm going to play around with the terrain. So what I've got going on here, hopefully it's not bad. What I wanted it to. Let's turn this into a brush so I have a little more control over it. I can do layers and see what I like and what I don't like. Let's open this up. And we're going to take this color and let's give another layer. That way I can play with things and not mess stuff up. I think I want it a little bit bigger. I think that was the problem. I'm trying to get a little striation in here. quite what I was after, so let's try again. Nice thing. Start over, it's computer. We have that ability to, whoops. I kind of like what we were working on over here, so let's see. Gave me an idea what I wanted to do, just not sure what I wanted to do. So we'll figure it out. Keeping in mind the direction of the sun. Just keep it simple for now. Back it out. See how I feel about that bit of detail. It's not exactly working the way I intended it, or I had hoped. And it's okay to try things and go, yep, that sucks. Try again. In this case, since it's already me, I'm going to try to blend it here. It's not going to let me, is it? Does it blend? No, that. Let's see how it blends against. Hang on, stop it. There we go. Maybe. Maybe. I want to put a third in here. Do I want to put it back here? Copy this color right in here. Well, poopies. We're an hour in and I have no idea what I want to do still. This is me playing around with stuff, because you never know when a random idea will hit you. Just kind of like, yeah. It's a little too red. Looking at different color concepts. Blending. All right, let's go back to normal. Let's do a tint. Let's just see if it does need to be red or orange. Soften it just a little bit. Push in the background just a little bit. We'll definitely need to add some more life to this piece. But while I mull over those, let's think about clouds. I can do my standard, just clouds across the sky. Or not sure how I feel about this. Let's see if these will fill. That one won't. That one won't. I think this one won't fill because of this in here. Where else is messed up on this one? Okay, there's the hole. This one's messed up behind, I think. Yeah, so let's fix that. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm just playing with some ideas. It's a little more interesting, this cloud going across the sky. A lot more interesting. Let's hide the cactus. Background cactus, I need the foreground cactus. Am I on a wild goose chase here, guys? Is this something kind of cool? I don't know. But let's get the layer first. Let's do smoothing, just to get it a little more interesting. This is not the final color, of course. Just a concept here. Play around with colors here in a second. I like clouds, they're just squiggles. Can't do them really wrong. That's unexpected. So all right, so let's play around with this concept a little bit. little more interesting. A little more interesting. I will definitely concede that. Now I'm going to play around with it a little bit. What did I mess up? Oh. Wouldn't close. Couldn't get it to fill. And then I had a gap. There we go. Let's not do that. Somewhere around here's a hole. We'll just do this. That's interesting. Let's be a little lighter. And if this is boring, you guys just let me know. We can do something else. This is just my day of doing silliness, having some fun, working out some concepts for new pieces, or just doing whatever the heck I want. I do what I want. Oh yeah, so exciting watching a guy draw little squiggles in the sky. We'll see how these turn out. This may have been a horrible idea. We'll soon find out. Right, my brush is being weird. Stop moving my canvas. Doing some pushing the button. Just doing little squiggles. Working out this unorthodox design for me. I mean, it should be unorthodox. This should have been just part of my kit. But for me, this was something different, something new. I've never done clouds like this before. And we'll see how they turn out. Ooh. Well, wholly unexpected. Let's bring our cactus back in. Whoop. Still don't know what I want to do with this thing, but it's getting more and more interesting. There's definitely going to be more layers to it. Well, I tried a couple of things completely different for me. The sun and the clouds in particular. And I think it's working. Again, not certain what I want to do. I'm not sure what I want to do with the foregrounds, midgrounds. It does tell me I don't want to put anything behind that midground, which now makes it the background. If I do anything, I'll do it in between the two existing layers. Interesting. Let's borrow from this piece here. have some flares and things I want to see if we can use. Why reinvent the wheel? Okay, that's my sky. Yep, block that. Here's the sun. Sun has all kinds of things. In particular, it has this. So let's just see if that adds anything to the sun here. I doubt it. I think I'm going to hate it. Where is it? Okay, there it is. Where is it full? I don't want that. Just kind of want to hint. And it's overlay, but how about instead? Oops, wrong one. Screen. Hard light. Just add some energy to the piece. What else I got going over here that I can borrow? Let's hide that. Is there anything else? I think the rest of this is all done. The sun itself is just this piece right here, which is not a big deal. I seriously doubt it's going to add any distinctiveness. Oh, let's not. Let's cancel. There's already a piece named Sun, which is this piece right here. We do not wish to change it. We do, however, think we can brighten the center up. To be a little brighter. There we go. And then what's that glow, which is this piece here, I believe. This is what I get for not naming things. Is there anything on this? Nope, there's nothing on that layer. So it's this one. This will be sun glow. Actually, see what happens when I do that. Yeah, I like that better. Adds a little bit of energy to the background. It doesn't have to be so in your face. I might have to tone it down just a little bit. It's a little too obvious what it is. There we go. Now let's play around with scale. You know what this makes me think of is Betelgeuse is going to explode at some point. Whether or not it's in our lifetime is another story. It had some unusual activity which gave them indicators that it may be approaching an end of life. And it may have exploded 600 years ago. It may not explode for another 600 million years. But the way the clouds are swirling around this burst from this weird looking sun kind of gives me the explosion idea here. Let's take that midground and, oops, lighten up the blur. Oops, I don't want darken, I want that to be normal. Just a little bit. There we go. I think I need some terrain running right through here. A couple more silhouetted pieces. A couple more plants in here. And then I need a subject matter. Or maybe I just leave it alone. I mean, would you hang this over your... Oh, this is not big enough to be a couch piece. So we have three distinct subject matters here. We have the cactus on the left, which fills up its space. We have the sun, dead center. And then we have the clouds and this little cactus over here. It's boring by comparison. We are going from close to far, so to speak, between the two cactus, and of course the sun's the furthest out. I'm going to have to think about this. It's going to have to live with me for a little bit. But I'm happier with what this is than the original piece, which will close. There's nothing from it we need anymore. Or maybe we'll look at these. Let's copy these to see how they look. I don't think it's what I want. So midground, foreground, midground, cactus. We need it here. Insert layer. And that was an overlay, but we don't want that. We want it to be normal for now. And we want to take the blur completely off, because this was made for a much bigger piece. So scale it down. Just, is this something I want in here? I'd have to change the color and everything. But is that something that fits in here? Or does it go back here? Bring it up a little bit more. Needs to go in front of the clouds though. There we go. That's something I want. Add a little more interest to that piece. Just think about it here. Did it. Nope, need more red. We're just playing around with the concept. Doesn't mean it's going to stay. Some of you may be screaming at the screen, I don't know. Nope, needs to be lighter. So I'm close, but not quite. It needs to be a little darker. And like I said, I'm just pushing things around, see what happens. Let's take that color right there. Let's lighten it by that much. And let's make this that color. That's a little better. Of course, now we have to push it in the background. Not buying it. No, I don't like it. It's going away. Bye-bye. We don't need that. We'll come up with something different. And to that end, I am going to swipe the dark end of the cactus here and just see if this is something I want. It's a little more interesting. Might need to bring its color up a little bit closer to that. That's a lot more interesting. What do you guys think? I really kind of digging it a little bit. I might add a little more detail to the foreground piece like this. I like the rocks the way I've got cut like that. I don't think the whole thing needs to be like that, but maybe just that little cut, more rocky feel right here. Okay. So that'll be the midground. Midground will become the foreground. So midground cactus, foreground, which is that one, foreground cactus. Okay, so everything's named appropriately. Ooh, I'm hiding things. Why am I hiding stuff? Stop it. All right. So we want foreground, which is this. Now let's look at it here. Let's get rid of this detail here because we don't need it right now. I'm going to take this color. Apparently, no, I'm not. I'm taking this color. I am going to make a new layer, and I'm going to lock this layer and turn it into line art. Oops. And then I'm going to attempt to draw something a little more interesting. So I really liked how that came out over there. I want to keep some of the lines we've got going over here. this one. Keep the original just in case. Let's go back over here to the scene. Now we can actually drop this a little bit. Yeah, that adds a lot more interest. So we're going to keep that. But we have the original. Should we say, no, I want to go back? No harm done. Let's hide the template again. Midground. Midground. Ah, it's not brushed, that's why. And I can push it back. It's looking a little too crisp. So let's push it back. And I have to live with it because I know the colors of the midground aren't quite right. I know I'm probably going to have to do something in front of our foreground. Here there be dragons. I think here there be dragons. I just don't know what kind of a dragon we're going to have. And I can always put in the dragon from Night Flight just to see what it looks like, but I don't want to reuse that. It's been used too much. Now this has to be something new. It's not close to even being finished, but it's definitely getting me in a direction with everything being roughed out. Now that I know what I want the rocks to look like and the terrain to look like, and apparently the clouds. I think we're going to take our foreground cactus, we're going to tint it just a little bit. Put a tint in here, and I think the tint needs to be a little darker for this one. Just a light tint. That's going to get wrapped no matter what I do, so let's keep this high. Better. Save. Hey, how you guys doing? Hi, Lori. Hi, Colleen. I don't know if you guys are just now responding or if this is just now feeding. I've been having such wild and weird stream issues today. I have no idea if anything was working, so I'm so glad to see you guys step in here. Torskuren has been gracious enough to hang with me. I believe that's been him most of this time. So now that I have the two of you in addition to him, what do you think? This is nowhere where I thought I was going to be, but this is interesting. I'm going to close this one down. Don't need it anymore. We have something completely new here. It's going to be a three-piece. Thank you. It's going to be a three-piece set spread, but this is going to be the 11 by 14 canvases, so smaller canvases, not those monster things. And honestly, I think each one of these will, when I'm done, stand on its own as an individual piece. Maybe not as interesting as the whole, but individual. Thank you for liking it. The sun and the clouds, I have no idea where that came from, but I'm really liking this. But I do need, and I'm going to be adding some detail to the foreground here, a little less to the background, but I do need something. I need a dragon, or I need a knight on a horse. Put a windmill out there. I need something. Not sure what that something is yet. Well, I haven't done it yet since the beginning of the streams. I'll do it right now. I have a cup of coffee. I have the small cup here. I know it's the small one. This is not bigger than my head. If you like stuff like this, and you want to support me directly, obviously, like, sharing, following, all that fun stuff, please do that. It does help me grow. It does help me out more than you think it does. The more people who follow, the more people who are going to be able to watch, the more people who see what we're doing. But in addition, if you want to support me directly for doing stuff like this, I don't know which side's here, you can buy me a cup of coffee. And you can do that. The link is in the ticker right there. It's coming up. I swear it is. It's coming up. But it's buy me a cup of coffee, or buy me. So buy me a cup of coffee. It's buyacupofcoffee.com/chainreaction. It's in the description of this video. It's going to be on the ticker tape that's coming up. Let's see if I do this, if it comes up faster. No, it should be coming up after Sam's name here, which is right there. And then the next thing that's going to come up is the link for buymeacupofcoffee.com or buy a cup of coffee. I forget. It's coming up. It'll tell us. It's right there. And you can support me directly. It is buy me a coffee. Buymeacoffee.com. Okay. Buy me a coffee. I've been saying it wrong for all these months. Buymeacoffee.com/chainreaction, and you can support me directly if that's something you choose. We have projects over here. You'll see what's going on. These are all my medias you can contact me at. We have a store which is not up and running just yet, but chainreactionstore.com is a thing. This year it's going to be focusing on prints are fun, like warm-ups. But stuff like this is not going to be my focus anymore. I'm still going to do it, don't get me wrong. I enjoy the crap out of doing it. It may even find its way into other media. But my focus from now on is going to be books and comics and games. We're going to do merchandise based on those things. So we'll still have t-shirts and key rings or keychains, and we'll still have canvas prints. It's what this is for, something a little bit smaller. It doesn't take up a whole bloody wall or your wallet. And give people some variety of colors to work with. I have the green, which is the Into the Unknown, which people seem to really like. We have Black Sun, which is the solid purple piece. We have the 20 by 30s, so they come out as 60 by 30s when they're all hung up. Of Night Wall, we also have Night Flight, which is a single piece. And these are all monochromatic-ish pieces. And people really seem to like those because even though I do a cartoony style, it's something that can blend into their households and color schemes. Most of my stuff looks great in kids' rooms and game rooms. But that's not going to be my focus, is doing framed pieces. We're going to finish the ABCs. I've been sitting on ABCs for so long and just mulling it. And this is right here where we got to last Thursday. This Thursday I'm going to pick up wherever I end up here because I'm going to work on this a little bit here and there. I've already got other sketches for some of the other letters. How I was going to go from I to one of the other letters, I wasn't sure about the transition and how I wanted to draw it. Had a breakthrough. And so I can move forward at least up to a certain point. And I'm hoping once we get to the villain, it'll go more smoothly because it's more direct what's being said and what's happening, what's being illustrated. There are a few little glitches before I get to that directness. We have this character in a bad situation. We got to get him out of that situation and then into another bad situation where he has to make poor choices. And he will make poor choices. I'm sorry, this guy doesn't even have a name, but he's a throwaway character. He's going bye-bye. He will not survive this book. And when that happens, looking at you, Lori, I want to start on a much larger project. I have two larger projects. One is Airships and Aliens. Victorian steampunk alien invasion is how that's going to play out. And it's being co-written by Lori. I did I wouldn't say the synopsis, the treatise? I'm not sure what it's called, where you do an outline, basically an outline of where I think the story needs to go and where I think the beats need to go, and then she has graciously stepped in and is going to help me write it. I am not a writer. She is a better writer than I. And she is a better writer than she thinks she is. On top of that, I'm going to be working on The Great Adventure, which I have not displayed in a while. Let's open. Let's go over here to Dungeon Notes. Go to the comics. And is this the working files for The Grand Adventures? I don't think so. DN Comics. And The Great Adventure. If you've been watching me at any length of time, you've seen the pages that I've got done on this comic already. Let's hide the page numbers. Let's lock everything. And let's go all the way to the beginning. It's a dark and stormy night. Yada, yada, yada. Thank you. Yeah, I have my writing wrinkles on. Yeah, and you're getting ready to blow them off because those writing training wheels are going away. So this is the start of The Great Adventure in the most cliche manner I could think of. Every dungeon, some guy walking through a dark and stormy night to a roadside inn, drops dead with a map. I cannot think of a more generic beginning of any adventure. Now, there are a few other generic startings, but this is where we are now. The map is special. And after we show it to our other character, Sherman, we're going to get into what the map has to say. One of which is it's going to be getting tired of being called an old moldy map. And we're going to go from there. This is literally where I'm at. We have introduced the artifact And now I need to introduce you and my players. One of the characters is one of my old D&D characters, so I'm one of the players. We're going to introduce the characters to what this is going to be all about. And here's the shitter for you as the reader. You're never going to know what's on the map. You're never going to see the adventure. It's never going to be spoken of. It's never going to be said. It's always going to be that, well, we need to gather this person. Oh, we need to go in here and get this thing. We need to do this. Someone swiped the map. We now need, typical stuff. And of course, the story that I have in my head will not survive first contact with the page. And we're not going to get very far into the shenanigans. This is more of the gathering of forces, the introduction of characters. I believe in introduction, worst case scenario, redemption for most stories. Oh no, spoilers. River. Spoilers, sweetie, spoilers. I actually have found people who know this little bit of information about the story of The Great Adventure. And I'm never going to say never. I might give us peeks. Depends on where the readership is and where the story goes. We might find out what the adventure is. But right now the idea is you'll never know. Or will you? So anyway, so this is the next major project. As you can see, it's in progress, and I've updated the art a little bit, so I drive you crazy. And then I have character designs, which I'm sure we have seen over the years. Oh look, a whole folder called Airship and Aliens. Look at that. And I have an unfinished Admiral. But I knew what I wanted him to look like as far as his look in general. Vice Admiral Farragut. And then we have the airship deck. I haven't seen this in a while. Let's see what this is. Oh, no, it's just an old reused piece of art. I'll open, just to give myself something to figure out. Let's see what the airship looks like. Yeah, well, here's a airship. I'm not really happy with this design, but this gives you a flavor of where I'm going with all of this. And let's take a look at what else we got. Airships, lots of airships. Ooh, we have aliens. Which alien is this? This is the Brute. This is one of our muscles. And then we should have a brain alien. I don't know which one's which anymore. Which one's this one? Okay, it's the same Brute. Don't need him again. Open. I've been at this a while. Nope, same Brute. Apparently I've made refinements to this over the years. Got so many of them, plus, they're copies of copies. Do we have brains? Yes, here we go. Here's the brains. So here's the brain alien. Doesn't have a name yet. And then, of course, our navigator for our pilot for our good guys. Our good guys are a bunch of airship pirates. Very loosely. They're more archaeological. They take advantage of archaeological finds. We'll say that. They're not bad guys. They're not good guys. They're not anti-heroes either. They're just some guys trying to make their way through the world. And in the end, who knows, may end up saving it. So, here's some of the characters for airships and aliens. And then, what else do I have in here? Base airship. What is this? Oh, it's the base airship, which we've already seen. So, characters, have been designed. Airships have been designed. Characters are still in design. We have a project that's already almost halfway there. As soon as I do, which is hard to see because it's all black, as soon as I do this, this is the center of the book or of the comic, that's halfway. And then we'll be going back the other direction. Would you like to unlock? No, go away. All I'm trying to do is show off some pages. All right, so anyway, we do have some projects coming up. We have things I'm working on. We have things that I'm having help worked on. I would love, going back to this, to get you guys feedback on where you think this needs to go. Let me hide that template. I'm happy with the color palette of this one. I am surprised at the direction. These things always, I've got an idea and it goes in 12 different directions. And I never know what I want anymore, but I need to add details, I need to add stuff, I need to add some critters in life. But what should be in front of that sun? What is silhouetted, maybe, in front of that sun, be it on the foreground piece or in the sky in the background? What should that be? I mean, I'm thinking dragon, but I've done dragons flying across. It's overdone. At least the dragon I have already drawn. It's time to draw a new one. This is about new art. This is what Tuesdays I think are going to be mostly about, is either tweaking old art into something new or new art completely. I know, so many options. Again, the energy of the sky with the clouds like that tell me exploding star, but that's, I think, just a blistering vultures. Oh, how about one sitting right here? Right there. Vulture sitting right there. Dragon, yeah, definitely dragon, but we need a little vulture. All right, we'll think about it. Maybe have a silhouette of my Dungeon characters whenever they're in the desert going, it's times like this I wish I'd listened to my mother. What did she say? I don't know, I wasn't listening. Thank you, hitchhikers. Thank you. So we're at the top of 2 hours. I'm going to go ahead and file save. I'm going to go ahead and close the comic. I'm going to minimize this, come over here to my main screen. Good morning to everybody. And for me, it's going to be good night. We are at the top of 2 hours. Thank you for those of you who have been here watching with me, and if you've made it to this point after the fact, thank you for watching this far. We're going to stream again on Thursday, and on Thursday we are going to be working on the ABCs of Adventure. We're going to probably be working on I. Get that a little more close to finish, and then move on to one of the other letters. Not necessarily going to be in order, but so far I've done them in order. I've got T, which I really like, but I need to figure out how it's going to fit into the action of the narrative. That's the words I'm looking for. So until then, I'm going to get some sleep. I want you guys to have a fantastic day. Know that you are in my heart. I love you very, very much. And you're all deserving of being loved. It's tough enough out there in this world. Don't beat yourself up. Let yourself be loved. Love those around you. Hold them tight. You've got to have love. All you need is love. Dun, 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 dun. All you need is love. Gonna get struck. Because they're gonna demonetize. Oh wait, I'm not monetized. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. You're welcome that I'm ending this and not singing anymore. I love you guys very much. Again, Like, share, follow, whichever platform you're on. Do the thing. Julie, do the thing. And if you want to support me directly, it's buyacupofcoffee.com/chainreaction. You can support me directly there. And of course, you can buy my prints and things in the future on the chainreactionstore.com as soon as we get it up and running properly. All my fault, no one else's. Till then, thank you very much for watching. And again, I love you all very much.